not heard about the floods in Pakistan at all. Like, I just heard about it from BBC News.
I actually haven't heard anything about them.
I don't really fully understand what's going on in Pakistan right now. I haven't really been paying attention.
The floods this past summer in Pakistan have caused damages of epic proportions, leaving more than 1,600 people dead. One-fifth of the country has been washed away, and about 20 million people have been directly affected. The UN rates this disaster as one of the worst in recent history, with the total number of victims from these floods exceeding the total number of victims from the earthquake in Haiti and the tsunami. Some stunning facts about these floods include that about 300,000 houses have been washed away and more than 17,000 schools have been destroyed. And these definitely send a shiver down everyone's spine.
Honestly speaking, one of my major concerns is where does Pakistan go from here? Where is future? Like, we are getting aid, yeah, donations, even though some of the donations have stopped coming, but adopting all those systems, like the water's contaminated, the food is not there, we're importing a lot of stuff, so the government's losing a lot of money that way. Just to all the schools are damaged, the hospitals, just that infrastructure requires a lot of money, a lot of aid from outside. And I feel like we need a lot of help in order to move on. And biggest concern would be, how do we move on?
My area of focus in the fundraising was the area that was initially worst hit by the floods, which was the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa or KPK province. The organization working there, which is under the RSPN umbrella, is called the Sarhad Rural Support Program, or SRSP. And they've been working for 2 decades in that area. So that's where the focus was initially. Then when the floods moved down and moved to South Punjab, we did some fundraising for the Punjab Rural Support Program, which is the organization active in this province.
I don't know if the flood has affected Pakistan's image in the international scope. I feel a lot of events in the past have already done enough damage. Quote unquote, like I heard very recently that a lot of people do not want to donate because they think it's a terrorist organization that the money's going to. A lot of people don't really trust where the money is going, and I don't blame them, being in the country myself and have had experience with that type of stuff. The thing is, we put a lot of thought into it, and we thought UNICEF was the way to go because they're internationally recognized. We know where the money will go. We know it's not going to get into a corrupted government official's hands. And they have been doing great work. They've already built houses. They've started infrastructure in hospitals, education. So they're not only giving people money to eat food every day, they're looking into the future projects.
I think it got more coverage, but I don't think a lot of people supported it as much as the Haiti one.
I really haven't been paying any attention the last couple of weeks because of what's been going on in Egypt.
I don't know much about it. I just know there's like a lot happening, but it's like not in depth.
We are part of the Queen's Pakistani Students Association, and this event or this tragedy what happened since Pakistan is very personal to us. It is our home. We took it very seriously. We planned on campaigns to raise awareness. We went to classrooms, showed them videos. Our main idea was to just so people know what's going on, so at least they are aware enough to donate, even if they choose not to.
On campus in New York, in Columbia, we had a pretty massive fundraising campaign. We raised over $20,000, and all of it has gone to RSPN and certain UN programs which are operating in Pakistan.
There was a fashion show being organized by Synergy, which is which has a very good presence at Queen's. What they do is every year they hold a charity fashion show, and they send their proceeds to one of the big natural disasters of that year. So I convinced them to spare their money this time around for the floods in Pakistan, and they've managed to raise a lot of money, and then we'll be sending that together with a concert which we are planning to organize in March. We've got in touch with a very popular band, Josh, in Pakistan, and they have been very kind and generous, and they will be coming over to Canada to perform at Queen's campus. We are trying to get as many universities around in Ontario and Montreal and McGill and all those universities involved. So as a student body combined, not only at Queen's but at other PSAs in different universities, we can together create a bigger impact and raise as much money as we can and then send all that money to Pakistan.
There's a lot of reconstruction going on, lots of livelihood recovery. And I mean, just the bottom line is that all of this stuff is expensive and this requires a lot of funding. So I think the key is finding non-governmental organizations in Pakistan that are working towards livelihood recovery.
We identified an area where we were going to focus on. And this was in Muzaffargarh district in Punjab, which was one of the worst hit areas. And we selected areas which we knew that normally people are not going to, because they were inaccessible. For the first phase was just the relief goods, the food, the tents, the medicines. The next phase was that we set up 3 tent villages in Muzaffargarh district within a radius of 1 hour drive from every camp. So we created a hub there and we stored our things, our teams were staying there and they used to visit these 3 camps in Muzaffargarh district. In the next phase, which is the phase now, after the water has receded and people have gone back to their homes or whatever is left of their homes, we had committed at that particular time that these 3 tent villages, wherever they were located, we are going to build 3 model villages at the same location. So our first model village has begun. It's every model village has 150 houses. The land has been donated by the local landlord who we are working in partnership with, because that was the major cost. And then we are planning to build a community center in that area so that these 3 model villages can be served by that community center. We will have vocational training center there for women, and then sports facilities, outlets where they can sell their goods, whatever they make, the handicrafts. And then we'll have workshops there, awareness about family planning, about personal hygiene, about sanitation, and adult literacy. So it's a very ambitious project, but we already have, the basic model in place, and we are not worried about the funding.